Let me put it to you this way. I often talk about diamonds. Okay? I talk about nanodiamonds. I've written about nanodiamonds. Diamonds, if you were to take diamonds of the same size, same carat weight, and you had 2 handfuls of diamonds, and you look at these, and they're all cut, because diamonds in the rough are just rough stones. They're only considered to be gems once they've been cut. They have facets. But if you take these cut gemstones and you hold a group of them in your 2 hands, same size, same carat weight, you would say they're identical. But if you take a jeweler's loupe, a magnifying lens, and you look carefully through the facets, you will see that there are imperfections. There are color gradients, reflectivity differences, refraction differences. This is all about, and you all know this is about grading the quality and therefore the value of diamonds. It is upon closer examination, the sequence of our DNA, that you begin to identify the differences, the grading, if you will, between people. Now, I'm not trying to speak on a racial standpoint, an ethnic standpoint, or any of that. I'm simply saying that we are fearfully and wonderfully made, as Kathleen so often states from Scripture. We are uniquely made. Yes, we are made in the image of our Creator, of God. But we are also unique. And therefore, like diamonds, there is a unique value to each person. Now, I don't mean to put this in a commodities context or in a valuation context, that one person is more valuable than another person. That's not what I'm saying. But like those flawless diamonds, that upon closer examination, you're unable to detect any voids, any fractures, any defects, any inclusions in your DNA sequence. Your DNA sequence is as perfect as a perfect diamond. Imagine the value of a multi-carat weight flawless diamond. But there is a cheapening underway. This is, again, I often go to this, and I will put it this way. There is a psychological operation underway regarding the human genome and blockchain and the commoditization of DNA, the tokenization, the relegating of a genomic sequence to that of a non-fungible commodity. Bear in mind how unique you are as I go into the definition of fungible and non-fungible. But we are not to sell our birthright for bread and lentil stew, for cheap Ethereum coins or any other cryptocurrencies. And you all know that the blockchain system was built by taking advantage of humans' natural tendency towards greed. The way the blockchain system has been built and continues to be built is primarily, not exclusively, but primarily through cryptocurrency speculation. For the most part, cryptocurrencies were not designed as instruments of trade and commerce for daily use in the marketplace. They are instruments of speculation. They are not, in my opinion, to be considered investments. Cryptocurrencies, the real reason that they exist is to build the infrastructure of the beast system. Every time a cryptocurrency is created and mined and received into a digital wallet, those are all contracts that are generated and then replicated in the blockchain system thousands of times. This is called a distributed ledger system. The claim is, the marketing is, it is a decentralized, fully encrypted system of ledgers, of record keeping, such that it cannot be hacked because it's encrypted and because there are so many copies of the records that you couldn't hack and destroy all of the records. Now, I've explained this over and over the years, but it is not a decentralized when you look carefully at encryption. So briefly, if you hold the private key that encrypts data and then decrypts data so it can be read, if you hold the private key, then you have centralized the encryption system. The question is, who holds the private key to the blockchain system? Ultimately, that will be the Antichrist. From a mechanical, from a computing standpoint, the centralized control of the encryption, the private key, to all of the blockchain is held through quantum computing. Quantum computers, through random number generation, providing that encryption, that private key encryption that encrypts all of the data that is entered into the blockchain system. This includes your DNA sequence. Okay? This includes your medical records, your banking records, your personal history records. Everything about you and I is being entered into the blockchain system. And soon, the only way to access it is by taking the mark of the beast. This is why Scripture says no man will be able to buy or sell without the mark of the beast. So man has been duped into building that infrastructure through greed, known as cryptocurrencies, speculating in the cryptocurrencies. All of the existing cryptocurrencies and all of the sovereign currencies themselves will be obsolete under the Antichrist. There will be one cryptocurrency known as Diem, D-I-E-M, the day. That is the name, the rebranding of what used to be called Libra cryptocurrency. And this has its origins not with Facebook, but with Concordia. And we have published about Concordia. I think it was the November of 2019 issue, if I recall. But it's in it. We've published an entire issue on Concordia in Entangled magazine. But this is where Diem came from, okay, from the Libra group of Concordia. Eventually, all these cryptocurrencies will be obsolete. You'll only have one under the Antichrist, under the one world system. This is the outcome. This is the other side, if you will, of the coming reset. Some call it the Great Reset. I don't think there's anything great about it. It is the reset into the Antichrist-led world, ruled world. So what I'm sharing with you tonight is not so much cryptocurrencies, that's the backdrop to blockchain, is the entry, the voluntary, in exchange for a cryptocurrency, a token, the voluntary placing of your genetic sequence into the blockchain system. in exchange for bread and lentil soup. People do not appreciate how valuable, more valuable than a flawless, perfectly cut gemstone, a diamond. Its value is tied to your soul. Its value is tied to the determination for all eternity of where your soul resides, in heaven or in hell. What is more valuable to a person? It is to not think critically when a person makes a decision to sell very cheaply into the blockchain their DNA genomic sequence.